right, we'll go ahead and call the German Hill Road case at this time.
I'm ready when you are. 2 p.m. case, William Matriciani, Donna Matriciani, and George L. DeVille III, We Dog LLC, trading as Playbook, 6700 German Hill Road, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 3.12 on November 16th, 2012. No, excuse me, on November 11th, 2012, police responded for a report of a cutting on November 16th, 2012. Police observed 65 people dancing on the dance floor. On November 23rd, 2012, police observed approximately 15 couples dancing on the dance floor. And on January 5th, 2013, police observed 15 to 18 males and females dancing. Violation of Article 2B, 12108D, and/or violation of Rule 4.01A. On November 11, 2012, victim of cutting was born on March 23, 1994, and reported that he had been served alcohol inside the establishment. And on November 11, 2012, witness to the assault born on April 4, 1993, reported that he had been inside the establishment and was served alcohol. Violation of Article 2B 10-505. On November 16, 2012, November 23, 2012, and January 5, 2013, license not properly displayed as required by law. Violation of Rule 4.18. On November 16, 2012, November 23, 2012, January 5, 2013, licensee allowing live entertainment and dancing without liquor board or zoning board approval. Everybody testifying, please step forward and raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand. Right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Priebus, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Peter Priebus on behalf of the licensees. I need to bring to the board's attention one preliminary matter.
Yes.
And that is with regard to the incident dated November, is it 11 or 12? I always get that.
The 11th is what's on our docket.
November 11, 2012. The police reports contain the names of two individuals. One was allegedly cut, and the other was his friend Armand Daniel Coriel Ventura and Wilfredo Rosales Orellana. I've, through the liquor board, had subpoenas issued for those two individuals. Those subpoenas, I was advised, were not, in fact, served.
Yeah, we have two unserved subpoenas in here.
Yes, sir.
With those names.
Okay. Now, if I am not requesting a postponement, if the board so decides to postpone, that's okay with me. But I just want to make the board aware that I've requested that those individuals be here. If their hearsay testimony is offered, I will object under the cases of Cade, K-A-D-E versus Charles Hickey School, Travers versus Baltimore Police Department, and Johnson versus Criminal Injuries Compensation Board. All three cases stand for the proposition that in an administrative hearing, although hearsay testimony is generally admissible, there is an exception where the individuals whose hearsay is being offered has been subpoenaed and they are not present and submitted to cross-examination.
All right, thank you. Let me take
And that's
a look at your case.
sure, and that only applies to that one incident, Mr. Chairman,
All right.
or that one date.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Are you going to enter denial to everything?
Yes.
All right, charges denied. All right, we'll hear from you at this time. You are
Sergeant Bailey.
Sergeant Bailey?
Yes.
All right.
Cheryl called me.
Okay, yeah, you weren't actually subpoenaed individually, but, all right. Sergeant Bailey, if you want to tell us, we're going to take this chronologically. So we're going to start with November 11th, 2012. And you want to go ahead and get started at this time? Ready to go.
No problem. For November 11, 2012, Officer Villard was dispatched to Graceland and Dundalk Avenue in reference to a cutting. Upon her arrival, she spoke with the victim from the cutting, which his name is Ahmad Ventura, V-E-N-T-U-R-A, 18-year-old Hispanic
Objection.
male.
Basis.
Hearsay.
All right, and what Mr. Priebus is arguing is that you're not
reading your own report?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, where I've subpoenaed that individual, Mr. Ventura, and he's not subjected to cross-examination, I object to anything that he may have told the police officer. And that is the exception. If the board wants to postpone the entire case or the November 11th incident, that's up to the board. But if they're proceeding on those charges, I am objecting to anything that those two individuals said, including their ages. All right. The Cade case is probably the most succinct.
All right, we're getting off the record just for a minute.
Good. Yeah, but we want, he wants to do that, but he wants to, yeah, he wants the victim. Mhm.
Sorry.
Mr. Chairman, can I just add?
Yeah, we're
one
off the
little
record.
thing?
I'm trying to read this case.
Okay. I just want to note to the board that when one of the club mate appeals, the circuit court did in fact reverse the liquor rule on that identical
All right,
issue.
we're off the record, so don't save your breath until we go back.
No, I'm just,
All right, yeah.
We absolutely can hear. Yeah, yeah, unless they have direct knowledge of the violations, they can't speak during the hearings. But then after, like a victim statement, they can have that immediate impact.
There were 4 separate instances of 3.12s. So, you know, I don't think, so the first question is, do we want to postpone? I say no. A lot of cases in for March. Second question is, yeah, we'll go ahead and sustain the objection, but as I say, there's a lot of cases here beyond that, and that'll deal with it. All right. We're going to go back on the record. The board reviewed Daniel Cade versus Charles H. Hickey School. That's 80 Maryland, App 721. Board will go ahead and sustain the objection at this time as to anything that Mr. Ventura allegedly said to, or Mr. Oriana, for that matter, was said to officers on this particular date. But you can go ahead and
have been served alcohol.
Yeah, and we'll sustain that. What we're gonna do is, after anything he said, pretty much probably wanna start with Mr. Fitzgerald. So that's okay to that.
Mr. Fitzgerald was notified and the report was written for the cutting under same CC number.
All right, and
Are there any other reports in this matter?
Just the cutting report. That has the same victim.
All right, and you can, yeah, I mean, you can obviously, if there are observations, go ahead and you may begin with your report, subject to objection, obviously.
All right, and this is a report dated November 11th, 2012.
Yes, aggravated cutting.
All right, you may proceed, Sergeant Bailey.
On November 11, 2012, at 0200 hours, Officer Villard was dispatched to Graceland and Dundalk Avenue for a reported armed person. Upon arrival to the location, the victim, Mr. Ventura, was standing in the 6500 block of Graceland bleeding from his hand. Mr. Ventura displayed a deep laceration to his left hand and was bleeding heavily. Mr. Ventura explained he was explained.
Objection.
All right, we'll go ahead and sustain it to that point. And you can go to the next page.
Medics 20
Yeah.
transported victim to Bayview Hospital in stable condition. Condition check revealed the victim would receive stitches for his injuries. Area canvas was conducted by 2 Adam 31 and 2 Adam 32, Officer Hebron and Officer Roberts, with the following results. 6608, Graceland was vacant. 6610, A, 10B, 6612, 6614, 6607, Graceland was no answer. 1111 Bethlehem, the residents were not home during the time of the incident. Blood from the incident was located throughout the 6700 block of Graceland. Suspect vehicle was not located and no cameras was in the area. Crime lab tech, Passy, photographed the scene. Tech, 5815, photographed the victim. 2 Adam 09, Sergeant Baker. 2 Adam 30, Sergeant Bailey responded to scene with Detective Layton. Liquor board violation was written in reference to the incident under same report number.
All right,
Be-
and that's fine. You know, I think your objection is just a millisecond premature. I'm sorry, that's okay, he's been trying. All right, thank you very much, Sergeant. Any questions for the sergeant?
Thank you, Sergeant Bailey. You in fact responded to this scene.
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you observe where the blood was
Yes, I did.
and where was it?
The blood was started about 60 feet away from the bar and went up to the block to the end of the corner.
Okay, could you tell the beginning point from the end point?
No, not with blood drops. We can't tell the beginning from the end point.
Okay, so is that Bethlehem? Those backs? Okay, so the intersection, Dundalk Avenue is to the front,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a triangular configuration
Mhm.
with German Hill Road to as the bar is to your right, German Hill Road would be first, and then Graceland Avenue
Yes.
second, with the gas station
Mhm.
to the, I guess, north. And then as you go up the Graceland Avenue, the next side street that you hit would be Bethlehem. And that is, if you would confirm this to the board, a fairly long block as far as city blocks go.
It's a city block, yes.
Okay. So you're saying that you saw blood from 60 feet from the end of the premises all the way up to the corner of Bethlehem?
60 feet away from the bar. I couldn't say it was the end of the premises, but it was approximately 60 feet, yes.
Okay. Up to that next corner? of
Yes.
Bethlehem. Thank you. No further
All right,
questions.
thank you very much, Sergeant. Is there any other testimony regarding November 11th, 2012? From anyone? Okay. All right, we'll move on to any events occurring on or about November 16th, 2012.
Good afternoon, sir. Lieutenant William Colburn.
Lieutenant Colburn, good afternoon. And that's Colburn.
It is.
And your first name again, sir?
William.
All right, thank you very much, Lieutenant. You filed, let me see, 1 second. And you're here to testify in reference to the
November 16th.
November 16th incident. All right, tell us what, if anything.
I was with Officer Jury.
Okay. All right, go ahead and tell us, you had an opportunity to respond to the subject premises on or about November 16th, 2012?
Yes, I responded to 6700 German Hill, the Playbook Sports Bar, to inspect the premises because we had had a recent cutting there as a night shift commander. I wanted to familiarize myself with where recent act of violence had been reported. I went into the establishment at approximately 1 a.m. along with Officer Jury as well as Officer Cartagena. And this time I observed over 50 people on the dance floor dancing. The gentleman in the blue shirt over there, Mr. Carlos Maldonado, was acting as DJ with a microphone, speaking.
I'm sorry, I should have reminded you, this is a relatively new occurrence here. Go ahead.
In violation of the liquor license, which clearly states that there is no live entertainment and no dancing. Reviewed the liquor license. In addition, there were patrons were eating food. However, no health department permits could be produced by Mr. Maldonado. And the liquor license was not posted where it could be seen. There's a large steel pillar, I guess you could say, behind the bar. The liquor license was scotch taped to the back of the pillar, exactly where no patrons would have been able to see it. I had to ask where it was, and that's where Mr. Maldonado retrieved it from. Since this time, I've been to this bar approximately 15 to 20 times in my 3 to 4 months in the Southeast District. The security staff have referred to Mr. Maldonado as the owner. The gentleman here in the sports code I've never seen at the premises, and I've been there a significant number of times. This is a repeated cause for concern from the community.
All right, we'll overrule that. All right, anything else as to November 16th?
No, sir.
Lieutenant? All right, thank you very much. Witness, with you.
Thank you. Officer Colburn?
Lieutenant Colburn.
I'm sorry. All right, you were physically present at the premises on November 16th?
I was.
Okay. And you said you observed Mr. Maldonado with a microphone in hand?
Yes.
What was he saying or doing?
He was speaking in Spanish enthusiastically, but I don't speak well enough Spanish to be able to understand what he was saying.
Okay. Now, with regard to, you said there's a dance floor. Where is this dance floor?
There's a large open area in front of where the DJ was, south of the bar.
Okay, where the DJ, do you have any photographs?
No.
Where the DJ is, isn't there an area that's roped off with tables and chairs?
There is a small area there. Directly in front of that is, the majority of the bar is open. There are small tables against the wall, but then the middle of the bar is just a large open area.
Okay, and
Which
then
could only,
I'm sorry.
which I think any reasonable person would assume was a dance floor.
Okay, there's no parquet floors?
No,
Okay, there's no disco ball?
that I'm not sure of.
Okay. All right, and to the right, there's a pool table to the right of the
The
DJ?
pool table is in the far
Okay.
back corner next to the bathroom.
All right. There was no band playing?
No,
There was recorded music?
Yes.
When you say that 65 people were dancing?
Approximately.
Okay, describe further what you mean by dancing.
I think it's obvious when you see someone dancing. I'm not going to demonstrate for you, but it was very obvious that a large group of people, definitely over 50, approximately 65 people in that open area where there were no tables or anything else, all moving to the music, which any reasonable person would believe was dancing.
It wasn't any type of line dance or organized?
No, it did not appear to be.
Okay. How crowded was the bar?
The bar was very crowded. My understanding, after speaking with Mr. Maldonado, was that they were celebrating an anniversary of some type or some type of event that night.
Okay. So the bar, you said it was very crowded?
It was.
Was there any distinction between how crowded the other parts of the bar were and this open area that you described? It's just packed?
Not packed to the point where you couldn't move, but it was very crowded.
Okay.
I don't believe it was excessively crowded to the point where it would have violated fire code or anything like that, but there was a large crowd.
Okay, thank you. Now, with regard to the liquor license. Okay, the liquor, there is a column or a pole behind the bar,
There is.
and the liquor license was in a plastic or cellophane covering, was it not?
I don't recall if it was in a covering or if it was just the sheet of paper hanging.
Okay.
It wasn't framed as a lot of the businesses do. It was by itself taped to the back of that pillar.
Okay, so when you say back, just so that the record and the board is clear, if this counter here is the bar, and the column would be behind the bar, and the liquor license is attached to the back of the column, not to the front that you could see if you were looking straight across the bar.
That is correct.
Okay.
It was facing, you would have to have been in the kitchen or behind the bar to see it.
Okay, but the column is only a couple of feet behind the bar.
It is.
It's right there behind the bar, right?
It's, from the front of the bar, it's probably 4 feet.
Okay, and the column's in the middle between the back of the bar and the bar itself?
It's between the kitchen door, then there's the column, then there's the bar.
Very good. Was there any type of disorderly conduct going on when you were in there? Thank you. No further questions.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant. We appreciate it. Is that all of the testimony for November 16th, 2012 for the subject premises? All right, we'll move on to November 23rd, 2012 incidents, alleged violations. We'll hear from you. Again, it appears Sergeant Bailey.
Yes, sir, Sergeant Bailey. On
You-
the 23rd of November, approximately 1:15 hours, Officer Farrar and I responded into the 6700 block of Germantown for business check at Playbook. In front of Rival,
Now, what's a business check? I'm gonna,
just to check on
And
the
a-
business, check on the well-being of the business, make sure everything's okay, make sure, they're not having any trouble. We try to check on most of our businesses.
I'm sorry I cut you off. I just was confused after.
You do that for all businesses or just the
All
ones?
that's open at night, yes. We go to 7-Elevens and check on them, make sure everything's okay. Anything's gonna be open 24 hours. We're gonna be open late night. We go in and check.
All right. And we're sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead with the report.
So,
There was approximately 15 couples dancing within the establishment, which is a violation of their liquor license, which is registered for first floor on the premises as a tavern restaurant, not to include live entertainment, dancing, or outdoor table service. It says for expansion pending BMZA permit. We spoke with the manager, Carlos, the guy in the light blue hoodie, light blue hoodie. Same advised of his violation, of the violation. Upon requesting the license, same provided the license without any incident, though the license was not displayed visibly at the bar, which is a violation of the liquor license. It was taped behind the post again.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you very much, Sergeant. Mr. Previs?
Thank you, Sergeant Bailey. I first want to say that you're a lot better looking than the other Sergeant Bailey. Sorry, 23rd, you were physically present? Okay. And with regard to the liquor license, it appears it's the same place that it was a week earlier on November 16th. And you would confirm that it was in the same location that Lieutenant Colburn?
Same exact location, yes.
Okay. All right, now with regard to, you said you personally observed approximately 15 couples dancing? And what, the place was crowded that night?
No, it actually wasn't really crowded that night. It wasn't, like the first night that I went there, that we talked about earlier.
Right.
It was less crowded. There was a laptop with the stereo system hooked up to it. And that's
You're
where
talking about the 23rd night?
And that's where the music was coming from.
Okay, so
yes.
there was no DJ?
There was a laptop and a stereo system. I don't know who was operating it.
Okay. You didn't observe anybody with a microphone?
Not that night, no.
Okay. All right, but you indicated that you saw people
Dancing.
dancing. Okay. All right. You said you obtained the liquor license without incident. There was no disorderly conduct or anything like that going on?
No.
Okay. All right, so the police came to the incident on November 12th, and then you came back November 16th and then November 23rd. Okay. Keep an eye on this place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much. All right, that's all the testimony for November 23rd, 2012. All right, is there any testimony for January 5th, 2013?
January 5th, I was there.
January 5th, okay. All right, once again, Sergeant Daly, you were at the subject premises on January 15th of this year, January 5th of this year. Tell me what, if anything, happened there.
Okay. Well, it actually started out, we were across the street at the gas station, the Sicko, right? The Sicko across the street. Yeah, Sicko gas station. Me and another officer was sitting there. That's when approximately 1:20 hours, we were within the 6700 block of Graceland. We were approached by Joseph Williams Mullins, white male, date of birth 3/25/90, who stated that he was just put out the bar at 6700 German Hill. Mullins advised that he walked inside the nightclub where he stopped by a doorman and told him that there was a $5 cover charge at the door to get in. At which time Mr. Mullins asked him, same advised the $5 would include all you can drink for the night. Mr. Mullins paid the $5. Mr. Mullins was placed a wristband and was let in without being checked for his ID. Mr. Mullins went inside, sat at the bar, and stated, and asked for a drink. But upon being served with the drink, the bartender, who also did not ask Mr. Mullins for ID prior to him being served, advised Mr. Mullins that he owed her $4 for the drink, at which time Mr. Mullins advised that he had paid already for the drinks at the door. After a brief dispute, Mr. Mullins said that his drink paid for his drink and advised he wanted his $5 back, but the doorman refused to. Mr. Mullins was subsequently put out of by the bouncer of the establishment. I asked him for ID, which at the time he advised me he did not have any ID on his person ever. However, I can't read his writing. Okay. Yeah, he gave me his name. Wilfred Tollery, Hispanic, male, 2388, but could not provide an address. I went inside the establishment to retrieve the liquor license, which was not properly displayed. It was back on the same post again. I also observed approximately 15 to 18 males and females on the dance floor. The dance floor in pairs around the bar of the main floor. It should be noted that while speaking with Mr. Mullins, I did not observe any signs of alcohol intoxication. He also advised that he did not have his ID on his person, and he was not asked for ID at the above location. Copy the report faxed to the Liquor Board Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sergeant Bailey, this report is authored by
Officer Cabreja.
Cabreja.
Yes.
And approving supervisor is Officer Jury?
Yes. I was 09 that night. That means I was in charge of the whole shift, so.
Okay, so you're, all right.
So you were present.
Yes, I was present that
Okay,
night.
And did you actually go into the bar? that
Yes, I
night?
did.
Do you know Mr. Parks here?
Yes, I did.
Did you speak with Mr. Parks that night?
I didn't speak with anyone. Officer Cabreja spoke with everyone while I was there. I really didn't speak with anyone. I was standing by to make sure everything was running smoothly while he spoke with them.
Okay, but you were inside the establishment, in uniform?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, now, the liquor license is still in the same place? Okay. You said you observed 15 to 18 people dancing in the main floor. There was no DJ there that night?
There was nobody standing behind the same laptop setup
No
from
microphone?
before. I don't know if the microphone was there,
Nobody speaking on the microphone?
but nobody was speaking on it.
Thank you. All right. The place was, other than Mr. Mullins being upset about
Their
being
miscommunication.
served, then there was no other disturbance of the peace or anything like that going on?
No.
Right?
No.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, Sergeant, thank you, Ms. Freeze. All right, is that the conclusion of the testimony as to the violations of the 4 days? All right, looks like that's it.
Thank you.
Mr. Freeze?
With the board's pleasure, I would ask to dismiss certain charges at this time or at the end.
Fair
I would
enough.
like to.
Yeah, we're always happy to hear from you from
Okay.
this end as well.
I have them listed by dates, so I have November 12th, 3.12, disturbing the peace by reason of a cutting. I would move to dismiss that. There's no evidence that anything occurred in the establishment during business hours or had anything to do with the establishment. And the 4.01A of serving 2 minors, I would also ask that those be dismissed. Should I move on, or you?
No, we're going to discuss your motion, and we're going to go off the record.
I'm going to go to the other dates, but